Well, I guess it was helpful if I put a lens on the camera. Who knew? Who knew? Oh, look, come on. Lenses is a thing. This microphone is stabbing me in the beard. Get my super technical focusing device out. There we go. That's better. You can still see this camera though. I don't care. Hey, Bill. Howdy. I bet you're glad that fair's over. I am, but I'm also sad that I missed the last weekend. Holy crap, these magnets might be a little too strong for this stand. Ugh. Feels like I'm about to break the stand trying to move the thing. I should probably find a way to hook my tablet into some power, because like the brilliant human being that I am. Oh, wait a minute, I have a, hang on, this microphone is keep poking me in the beard. I ain't digging it. I ain't digging it. All right, see if that's any better. I want to say this is not going to work. All right, I know where record is. I'll go get it. Anyways, working on my swing outs. I was originally going to not work on them off stream, but to be honest, I came to the conclusion that I probably wasn't going to get it done anytime soon. That's a freaking lightning cable. Holy casamole. That ain't going to work. I guess I'm still in the cord for the jams. Not that I'm playing jams, but why is it on auxiliary? Clearly I lost power out here. Oh. Give me the doodad back. All right. Now I got a cord I can plug my pad into. But anyways, so yeah, I kind of came to the conclusion that there was no way I was going to get these swing outs done. Dirty Dan took my place. Dirty Dan the fire poker man. Is that what he worked on? Fire pokers? Tell you what, that Dan guy, he's trying to make us all look bad. Always doing super clean, nice work. What the hell? Oh, well, that was brilliant. There we go. No! Phone landed right on the foot of my vise, and it survived. Yay! All right, let's see if I can plug this in and keep it from dying. Yeah, Dan is, I swear he's trying to make us all look bad. Him and his fancy schmancy stuff that he works on all the time. Mr. I'm going to be a level 3 certified Cabana dude. Daniel Sutton better watch out. Dan's coming in. He's taking over. Actually, whenever Daniel's turn is up, I think I have an idea. And Daniel's doing a good job. I don't want nobody to think he is not. But I know a guy. Bit of a perfectionist. So, some lady wanted a big ass fire poker. He and Paul made one 69 inches long. She was ecstatic with it. And it must be, she's trying to fire poke a freaking bonfire? Yeah, well, I will say that much about Dan. He does really nice work, but he definitely doesn't do it quickly, which there's nothing wrong with that. He has been known to be the guy in the corner over at Kurt's shop until like 11:30, and we're all like sitting there like, dude, today. So, anyways, I see some birds have come in and pooped all over my stuff. I'm gonna click on this thing. I'm gonna click on this thing.
BC 65,925. Wait till I tell you the story of version 1 of my candle holder though.
Looking forward to it. So, talk about failures. I'm not giving you a close-up of that. Well, let's just say that was supposed to be a calla lily. As you can see, this got a little long, and then this got way away from me. But the idea is sound. It is there. I get it now. It's one of those moments where it's like when somebody, Ellen Durkin is the one. I'd asked her about it, and she had sent me some pictures, and it was one of those moments where it was like, well, duh. Of course you would just, why wouldn't you start with flat bar? Much easier. But that was all. I came out here just like in a flurry with a power hammer and created that nonsense. So anyways, back to the swing outs. I'm gonna swing, speaking of swing outs, I'm gonna swing this camera out because I think most of what, not most of, but what I'm starting with is which one of these things am I supposed to turn? Okay, there we go. I'm starting out with the, what do you call it? The bracket, the brace, the coil. I'll call it the coil. So I don't know how, maybe.
Quadstate today. Going to see Glenn Miller and Tommy Dorsey Band, then to Lehman's Hardware, then to Troyo on Friday.
So it's zoomed in too much. You're just going to be staring at my gut. It's not the greatest camera view, but it's a view nonetheless. But most of what I'm going to do on the coil is going to be done at the vise. And I was test fitting the clamps to make sure that they fit. And then I was doing it, I kind of came to the realization that, well, one, this is memory, but two, in doing it, I kind of realized there's no good way really to come from the coal fire over to this. I was gonna stand where I'm at now. The fire is over here, so I was gonna. You're still staring at my beard. I'll fix that. But anyways, I was gonna come out of the fire, come over here and clamp it, do the thing, right? But as I was just test fitting the clamps and getting those situated, I kind of realized that it's not something I can get done in a timely manner. I'm going to lose a lot of heat fidgeting about with it, because really this clamp is really mostly here to get things, to hold things in place while I put the C-clamp in place. The C-clamp holds plenty well, but the rest, this is iffy at best. So my conclusion was, just use the torch, you dummy. So I'm going to take this clamp back off, because it needs to be, this needs to come up. All right. And really, since I'm not doing that, I should probably just go find another C-clamp and put that one up here. And then I'll fire the torch up and get this sucker hot so I can bend it around the coil. Now, once I get it around the coil a couple of times, like one good turn around the coil, I don't think I'll need these clamps anymore. But, I mean, I'm here. Why not, right? I think that'll do it. What y'all think? Lehman's Hardware. Where is that? That sounds so familiar. Or is that like a euphemism, like you're going to Gary's place? Just going to Gary's place and you're going to rifle through his pile of stuff in the trailer. Okay, anyways. So let me turn this fire down. It's plenty hot. I'm gonna fire the torch up for this. So what I ought to do, if I were a smart man, which I am not, I'd come over here and get this crap out of my way. This realization only hit me like moments ago as I was setting that up. So yeah. So I'm gonna bring the torch over here.
BC 65,925. Southwest of Akron, 30 miles or so.
Okay. That's like in Amish territory. There's a Amish blacksmith shop that way, I think. I'm pretty sure that was the place we went. It sounds familiar. I could just be making shit up in my head too. I'm good at that. Okay, so I got to get the correct doodad here out, because the last time I used this torch,
BC 65,925. Big ass hardware that sells all kinds of stuff to Amish.
yep, I think that's it. I think I described it as the Cracker Barrel of hardware stores. All right, is this the right? It seems like the right one. Really, probably should just take this off, but I'm being lazy. Actually, I think it's a size up. This dude. Ugh, why are these things so hard to get out of here? Who is the person with the tiny little hands that thought these little tools were like a good idea. Not me. Anyways, I'm just using a torch. It's got a little rosebud on it.
925. My lovely
Yeah,
wife
but-
Janice says come out and enjoy the fire.
Yeah. So I want to just take a pass through each hole here real quick. Just kind of clean them up. Because I feel like the last time I used this torch, it felt off. Which is probably true because I'm not the greatest at maintaining my tools. But I have since learned the errors of my ways. At least when it comes to the torch, because it works much better when it isn't completely filthy. Like this one feels completely clogged up. So now I'm going to go back to the smaller ones. Oh no! Yeah, this one feels not right. Let's see if I can get the big one back in there now. And then, there we go. I can do it. It's difficult. Looks like it. Yeah, this should be going in a little easier than it is.
Jared Cattingel. How ya been, brah?
There we go. Who? I didn't catch that name. I'll have to go look at that. But yeah, what's up? Just getting this torch ready to use. Last time I used it wasn't in great shape, so hopefully it's in better shape. I'm gonna need a little bit more line than that, not much. I also need to touch this thing because it likes to shut off on me. Oh, Jared. It's not the name I heard. I was like, who? Jared. I got it now. So I got my torch. I'm going to validate that it is shut off before I go turn the regulators on. All right. Get my torch lighter here. Think that'll work. Looks like it's working. Looks like it's working. So anyways, I'm gonna get this thing hot and then I'm gonna make it bend around the doodad. I suspect I have too much material here. We'll see. There we go. All right, one loop down. Hey Jeff, I'm gonna grab my glove because I suspect I'm gonna need it. I'm also gonna grab, I have a poopy little wire brush somewhere. This is it. I like to try to keep this as clean as I can as I go. This brush is kind of poopy, but it'll do. When you run these coils, you saw me hitting on this side. It's not perfect. Ideally, you want this to make contact all the way around. So when you're pulling these around, pull back as you're walking them around. I couldn't really do that on the first one, but I don't think it'll matter because I think there's going to be enough coil here. In fact, I suspect there's too much coil here, but we'll see. Let's see if it's got enough heat to light back up. Hey, hey. Coil spring, gotta love it. Oh, baby. That's technically only one wrap. I think that's, I might have sized that correctly. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. So anyways, I don't know how much of that you guys can actually see. Let me brush this off. Get down in there. So a couple things as I do this. I want my coils touching. I don't want space in between them too much. A little space is fine, especially for no more than what we're using these for. You don't want a bunch of coils though, so I think I've got enough for one more full wrap, and then this little guy, which doesn't really do much. So I was worried I did not have enough, but it looks like I'm going to be okie dokie. I want to loosen this a little bit. It shifted on me. I would prefer it be somewhat straight. Somewhat. Not complete. It doesn't have to be completely straight. You know. There we go. All right. So far, so good. This slipped a little bit. I'm going to try and knock it over. I'm going to use a drift to do that, because I suspect that sucker's hot. It's better. I'm just going to put that anywhere. It'll be all right. I lost the clamp. I don't know if it's hot. I'll find out real quick. It's warm, that's for sure. Oh yeah, excuse me, pardon me. I am going to reclamp this though. And the paint on the end of the bar is melting off or burning off. Like, I can see it smoking. I saw once a guy make V-block inserts for C-clamps, and I thought that was genius. It would be great for what I'm doing right now. So I might need to make some of those. Okay. I'm gonna guess that's not hot enough to light this again, but we'll try. Hey. No, I'm not lighting my cigar with this thing. It said one tastes like crap. Ask me how I know. I would much rather have done this in the forge. When you got somebody that can help clamp these up, this usually only takes like, oh, maybe 2 heats to do this coil. If they're fidgeting about, maybe 3. I mean, if you don't make it too long, you can do it in 1. I've never done it in 1, but I've seen it done. One of my favorite moments with Brian, we were doing these over at Goshen, the Goshen School of Blacksmithing in Ohio. We made 5 of these. Yeah, we did 5 of these on one side, and I think Jamie finished the other 5 up. But we did the initial 5, and it was me, Brian, Ed, Jonathan Pinkston was there. Zach Rapatoni was there. I think it might have been it. Rob Cornelius, I think, was there. And I think we spent, I can't tell you how long, but I feel like it was 2 days. But we might have gotten it done in 1 day. I think the second day was mounting everything. I think we got all the forging done, most of the forging done in 1 day. I'm painting a longer heat on this one. Because if I want to get as far around this as I can before I get to the small guy. The small guy really won't matter a whole lot. That's just more decorative than anything else at this point. Let's see how we do. And again, I'm pulling my weight back on this a little bit, so. And I'm trying to keep them on top of each other a little bit. Oh, hey, I burnt my doodad. My cheapy little wire brush. And then this last bit, it's too much material, but I can make this work. Another nice thing is if you got a helper just to run the torch, that's pretty sweet too. Because I wouldn't have had to stop. We could have done this, just painted the whole thing. What I really should have done is heated it up in the induction forge first, and then keep the torch to maintain the heat. too many wraps on these swing out coils can actually be problematic, but I don't think 3 will be a big deal. We're going to be a little over 3, but like I said, this end down here really doesn't count. I'm going to stop there for a second and see where I'm at. Because I want this down. This one kind of lifted up on me a little bit. Like I said, this top one, it doesn't really matter. What I want though, is I want this top one, and it looks like it's in a good spot, so I can just bend it around. I just don't want it on the back. So I don't want my finial on the back. It has nothing to do with being able to see it. If it's on the back, it can interfere with the ability to mount this. Though this one is going to be offset on my forge, so I don't think that's going to be a problem at all. But it's just a good idea to be in a good practice. Where the hell did like I say, where the hell did I put that torch? So I just got this one little bit right here I need to finish. All right. Okay. I think I'm done with that. Brush this off real quick. I don't like this brush. It tends to fling hot scale at me. Maybe it's trying to tell me something. Clean this thing up. Now, I can almost guarantee that this thing is going to be a bear to remove. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. I don't know how well. I'll try to zoom in on it. Ain't nobody talking. Like anybody even there? I don't even know. I'm over here blathering on to myself. That's okay. So let's see. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, 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 whoop. Too far. Oh my God. Hey. Oh, shit. It helps to turn the knobs in the correct way. So let me back this up. Okay, so I need to lift the camera up a hair. And there it is. Right. Oh, you can see the heat coming off of it. That's cool. Why is it still falling down? I got this damn thing tight. Oh, I think I zoomed in too much now. Where in the shit am I? Ah, there we go. Now I need to come down. I said down. Why are you? God damn. These things are great. These ball mounts.
Feedback a maker. Hi everyone.
All right. But they're not that great when you're. It is not focusing on that at all. Let's see if I can force it. Force it! I'll stand in front of it. So, and I'll get a pointer.
Feedback a maker. Lol, your tripod is drunk.
Yeah. So, I don't know if this is ever going to focus on this thing because there we go. So this is the coil. There's a couple things I don't like about it, but I think it'll work fine. We'll see. One, I think there's too many coils here. So I made this piece longer than it needed to be. I mathed incorrectly. Actually, what I think I did was twofold. I mathed incorrectly, and I didn't account for how much it was going to grow when I drew it out. That never factored into my math whatsoever. So I'd cut this bar around 22 inches long. I think 18 inches is more than enough material to do this. Because this is really longer than it needs to be, but it's long enough. It'll work fine. And it just doesn't need to be this long. I mean, it could have come up to about here and it would have been fine. But everything else on this thing, I think looks okay. I like the finial is facing the correct orientation, so this will never impact the mounting of this because there's a plate back here that this mounts to, or this will mount back here. And if this finial was behind here, it could potentially get in the way. And I don't want that because this will sit below the lip of the table. So that could have caused a problem. But right now, it looks like I'm good to go. And really the only tweak I would need to do, if I needed to do anything, was get this hot and pull this out just a little bit, and then that would fix this any potential issue here. I don't think there is one though. I mean, looking at it. But anyways, more coils than really needed. You really only need 2.5 coils total. That's counting your finial piece. So your finial piece would make like the half coil. So I just clearly wrong. So I think 18 inches is what I should have gone with. But I think it'll work. So one of the things I'm going to do to help, because I suspect that thing is going to be on there perk good, is I'm going to dribble some goodness on it. This will also help put a finish on it. A little warm still. What do you guys think? Oh, it's used motor oil. Well, I'm glad it's burning and not smoking, to be honest. Hey, if you don't have a good use for your used motor oil, man. All right, so we're gonna let that, I have to let this cool down now. It is a coil spring, a piece of coil spring. So it's not something I can just quench. I'm gonna turn the torch off because I do not believe I need it anymore. And then purge these lines. Yeah, still plenty hot. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna put this up. AKA, I'm gonna just drag it over here and put it on the stand. Hug-a-do. All right, so there's that. It's not the oil I wanted to use. It's the oil I used. Here we go. There we go. This will probably still ignite, but special effects, man. Check that shit out. This is suddenly a professional operation up in here. Hey, it did finally catch on fire. So I'm gonna guess it's still pretty hot. Just guessing. It's not based on anything at all. Surely has nothing to do with the oil I've squirted all over it. Right, stop that. This is how I get my black finishes, y'all. I just get it so hot, it ignites, and then the soot becomes part of the feature. Well, while I've got this here, while it's hot, I will use my oil rag on it, put a finish on it, and that way I only have to do this, the mount itself and not the coil later.
Defacamaker. It must have and don't call me Shirley.
So, yeah. Looking pretty decent, I think. I'll move it once it cools down a little bit more. I want it to cool on the rod. I don't want it to take off and then shrink up beyond that, because that becomes problematic, and that has happened. One of the things, I tried to do most of my beating on it downward. I don't like hitting this on the side, especially when I'm using a torch to do this, because this rod will heat up and it will take damage, and it's just not conducive to a good tool anymore to beat the hell out of it like that. So I try not to, but you know, I mean, sometimes you do what you got to do, right? But I'm telling you guys, you know, do as I say, not as I do. Rob is an idiot. He is not one that you should be following in terms of advice. No, that's the wrong way. Hey, bonus feature, my C-clamp got oiled. So I'm gonna put this down. So I'm gonna put this down here because it's hot. I'm gonna take this one off, maybe. I don't need this anymore. Well, that's, yeah. That's a little toasty. Hey, this one's got oil on it too. Look at that, bonus. Bonus. Put that right down there. And then I'm just gonna keep hitting this with my oilcloth while it's still smoking. It's just like seasoning cast iron. You know, you just keep applying till you get a nice good coat on there. So yeah, the bottom's not really hot at all. Not hot enough to smoke this. So that will have to get a finish later. But it's cooling down pretty good. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I mean, I'm hitting it. It's barely moving. I can force it. Yeah. I can force it, but I don't really want to do that too much. Not right now. I do want to kind of free it a little bit. Oh, and you only want to oil this while it's smoking, while it's hot. You don't, once this is done, you do not want to put oil in that coil. That friction is what helps hold the swing out up. Usually what happens is these are so tight that we have to work the actual swing out rod in the coil hot a couple of times, get it like dull red, and then drop, you know, get it in there, drop it in there and get it dull red, and then just kind of work it back and forth a little bit easily. You're not trying to forge it, you're just really trying to wear it down a little quicker than normal. You could grind it too, I suppose, but I mean, who the hell wants to do that? Grinding sucks. Another thing you can do, bring your swing out up to heat where it scales, let it cool off, and then soak it in vinegar or sodium bisulfate or muriatic acid, as long as you keep an eye on it. And then once it, give it a couple hours, depending on which one you're using. Vinegar probably a good overnight. Sodium bisulfate, if it's cold, it'll take a while. But if it's warm out and the water's warm, just a couple hours. Muriatic acid, probably no more than 30 minutes. And then you pull it out and then wire wheel the scale off. And then usually that's all you got to do. And it will fit in there nice and tight and will seize up anytime you put any amount of weight on it, which is what you want. I mean, you could get away with one that takes a little bit more effort, but I mean, if you want it, what's he say? What's that Oklahoma dude say? If you want it perfect, make it perfect. I've heard that before. It's probably too hot for this beeswax. This bar's cooling off up here. So all I'm doing is just, while I have it here, while it's hot, I can't really do much else with it right now. I figure I might as well put a finish on it. It's a lot easier to finish this now where in its current state than get it hot again and then finish it, where I can do the rest of this at another time. It's no big deal. But this is a little easier to handle right now. I mean, I've essentially got a thing to hold it. So I'm just putting some beeswax on it. This is actually beeswax and linseed oil combined. Oh, hey, that's still toasty. Whew. Good thing I'm done with that already. It's beeswax and boiled linseed oil combined, and then I melted them off. I got the idea from Bill Corey, actually. He was talking about how had these little cubes, and he bought a little silicone mold or something like off of Amazon or something like that, and then just melted it up and put them in there. I don't know if he does the BLO thing or not. I mean, that's just kind of a traditional thing, I think, quote unquote traditional. I'm sure somebody would correct me on that, but I like it. It works. And at the end of the day, that's all I care about. If I like it, I don't give a shit if you guys like it. That's a bonus if you guys like it. I'm gonna readjust this camera while we sit about. So what I'm gonna do tonight, other than that, is forge the actual swing out. So I'm gonna move this camera maybe back over here so you guys can look at the other camera. And then I'm actually gonna move this camera back. I don't know if it's gonna work, but that was my plan. We'll see. We shall see. I wanted to see if I could do this. No, oh, so that's as close as I can get in. It's not bad, I guess. What do you guys think? Oh, the wrong way. What do you guys think? We'll try that. We'll try that. Let me get my super technical engineering piece of equipment out so I can focus this camera, and then I'll switch, because I've been asking you questions that you can't even see the camera. So what do you guys think of that? That better? It's a little off kilter, but I mean, you can see it. Yeah? Shit. My tablet done shut down. It must have, and don't call me Shirley. Oh yeah, I heard that. So anyways, back to our regularly scheduled program or something. So now I need to forge the swing outs, and I will grab a bar and I will show you what we're about to do. If I can figure out where in the hell I put the other one. Oh, there it is. So, couple things. I'm gonna mark this at 34 inches. I don't know how long these are. But I don't want it to go the full length. I mean, I guess if it's gonna come out a little bit, that's gonna be fine. But I don't need it the full length of the forge table. I'd like to come up a couple inches short of that. So I'm gonna plan, it's 36, 34, so 34 inches, that's good. 34 inches, there's my marking doodad, I saw it. My marking doodad. So there is 34. And what have we got left? About 30, which is perfect. So it won't be full 30 because I'm going to put a bend in this. 90-degree bend in there. I'm going to draw that corner out. So we're going to lose material for the bend, obviously. So that's going to shorten this up a little bit. And what I think I'm going to do is, in the vise, I'm going to put this in the vise when it cools down. I'm going to put this in the vise at this mark, and then I'm going to bend from here out. So that way this back stays the length that I want. This back here is mostly inconsequential because essentially everything below the bend is my riser. That's how high I can raise material up above what I need. And to be honest, it would be rare that you would ever need more than probably 8 inches of rise on these. But having the extra length, you can use them for other things too. You can use them for cooking and stuff like that. Which brings me to the other feature. On the end, I'm going to forge a hook, or try to. We'll see. It's a long bar. It's going to be a little ungainly. I try to keep all my tools at 30 inches, and you're seeing a prime reason why. It allows me to do exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm bridging my forge and my anvil. This is not the appropriate size for me. It's off about 2 inches, according to the gurus. I don't mind my anvil being a couple inches shorter. I would rather it be shorter than taller. But this needs to get hot, at least on the end, if I am going to forge a hook on it. And an inch of material for the style of hook that I want is more than enough material, and I know that. I kind of have this weird idea in my head about how I want the hook to work. So it's actually going to be kind of a long taper, but with more material on the end. So it's going to start pretty thick at the base of the hook, and then it'll taper down. And the reason I'm doing that is I want a lot of strength in the hook. I don't want that hook to break off at some point. Whew. Whew. Well, I'm going to do a good portion of that at the tire hammer. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to bend the hook end holding this ginormous bar. That should be fun. But like I said, as soon as this cools down enough that I can manhandle it, which it is not there yet. However, it might be cold enough to, we'll see. Yes, I can do this. So I can at least cool it with a rag. And that's the oil popping on it. So I can cool it with this rag. It is not, it's the oil that is sizzling, it's not the steel. I'm just going to set that rag up here. And then we'll come over to the power hammer and power hammer our way to awesome. That is scrap. Excuse me, pardon me. Okay. Okay. Look how dirty I am. And I think, how am I going to do this? I think maybe the tong tool. Maybe the tong tool is the play here. Where is it at? There it is. So I'm going to use this to create the offset that I need for the hook. Yeah, that's not awkward at all. That's not awkward at all. This kind of stuff is when having a helper in the shop is really nice. You can get somebody to hold that tool for you so you can manage the work piece with two hands. But Kurt Fehrenbach, I mean, he can get a lot done on his own, but he really relies on somebody to kind of give him a hand, because there's some stuff where he just needs somebody to hold tooling while he's working, because, you know, he's working on big stuff. So I get it. I totally get it. I could set up a gantry in here with a chain hoist, and that would be a great helper. This isn't that heavy, it's just kind of awkward. Getting there. We're getting there. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but I'm just trying to take my time. I don't want to. I'm going to eventually do this piece by hand and smooth that transition out. I don't want like a really harsh transition for the hook end. And I might have to take another bite. We'll see. We'll see. I figure I need at least 3.5 inches for the hook I want. Maybe 4. Definitely 3.5. I kind of math that one. Okay. Not the most ideal way to do this, but it's working. I gotta clean this end up a little bit. And I should probably check how much length is here. That's 4 3/8. More than enough. And it'll probably grow a little bit. That's okay. I would rather it be a little longer and not big enough. I want a nice substantial hook on the end of this. But now I need to work on that transition a little bit. And I'm going to do that by hand. It's a pain in the butt. Pain in the butt. Needs to be a little hotter than that though. And then I need to take a commercial break so you guys can learn all about Raid Shadow Legends. Kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, so this transition right here . Coil spring, so I don't want to exert myself. No, it's coil spring, so it gets to a certain heat. There's no point in beating on it anymore. Probably should have stopped a little earlier. What? It's getting hard to hold on to. Spam bots. Fantastic. Well, that means I'm coming up in the world, right? The spammers think I'm worthy enough to come spam. With all 3 users watching. Joke's on them. Once I get this a little closer, I can clean it up more on the power hammer. It's just it's got some chop marks in it that I want to kind of get out by hand. Almost there. And to be honest, I ain't hanging a tractor for the damn thing, so I don't know how much effort I'm really going to put into it. The last couple of outings, I'm like, man, I really wish we had a swing out for this. So I want to make this and get it over with in time. I want to get it over with. I don't mind making it, but I want to get it done in time for Quadstate. And we're just a few weeks out at this point. I think, what, 5 weeks out, I think. I take one more pass by hand, and then I can get the rest. I might not need the power hammer, we'll see. I don't like the transition much though. I'm gonna, essentially it's gonna get bent down and then looped up. I think putting the curly Q on it now would be the easiest. I don't know how much of a curly Q it's going to be, but we're going to give it the old college try. It needs to get rounded up more though. This will be fun. This will be loads of fun. Loads of fun. Put it way back here. Yeah. I mean, all things considered, that's not terrible. Ain't great neither, but oh, ain't terrible. About the best you're gonna get. Sorry. This in the far. I don't need that right now, anyways. Ooh, I didn't think about putting a Haberman bend on it. Ooh. I mean, why not?
Deep maker. Okay, it was visible. Looked good.
I'll show you better when I get it closer to being done. I'm gonna check on this coil. Still warm, but that is quenchable at least. Find a way to hold it. And I'll show that off here in a second too. I don't know that anybody really got a good look at that earlier. So, I need this bent. That's not gonna hold, do that. Let's do it right there. Looks fine. Yeah? Yeah. I'll put this in the vise though. Get a slightly better bend out of it. And my handle's getting heated up.
65,925. You made it back.
All right.
Maker. Welcome back, Bill.
Let me go quench the end of this off since it was sitting over the fire. All right. Bit tool. Oh, I left my hammer over there. That corner in the fire. I did what I did and didn't pay attention to the orientation of my curlicue. So in all likelihood, knowing me, I'm gonna have to twist that back around and put it in the correct orientation. So, I'm just going to proceed as if that didn't happen. You made it back. Right on. Welcome back, Bill. So yeah, my plan has shifted a little bit. I'm going to put a Haberman bend on the transition to the hook. So I will need this. And probably this. And that ain't hot at all. Not for what I want to do. And again, I measured what I wanted, but at the end of the day, this is going to be longer than I need it to be. So if I need to adjust where the bend over here happens, it's whatever. It's not a big deal. I'm going to buy more of this material at Quadstate this year, and then I might just redo all of these and make them all the same. Imagine that. All right, so I need to pull this corner out. I'm gonna do that on the tire hammer. Looks good. And this is, I'm not going to go crazy with this. There's no need to. I left my hammer over there, didn't I? Put that anywhere. Go get my hammer. Turn that off. Oh. See, if I had a swing out, this would be a little easier. Because then I could swing it out where I needed it. Okay. So, I had a feeling that was going to be problematic. Okay, now. Kind of wish this bar was about, I don't know, 34 inches shorter. Should be a lot easier to deal with. All right, I'm trying to think about, this is the way it's going to go. Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to be the wrong orientation. Hindsight. I don't have it. This corner is probably, out of the stuff on the swing out next to the coil, the most visible thing. So I'm going to try to make it look decent, but we're going to see. I'm not, like I said, I need this in time for Quadstate, and I have other things I want to work on. So really, I'm just kind of powering through this right now. So we'll see. I'm going to remember not to grab a hold of that back end. come over here in a more radiused corner though. I don't want a sharp transition there. Get that hot. Well, that's where that's at. And that's looking fine. It's got some pucker in it that I need to take out, and I think I can pull that off on the tire hammer. A couple hits and then move on. Hey, I said not to touch that. It was hanging over the fire. It's like, whoa. Yeah. Listen to your own advice, Rob, you big dummy. 1, 2, 3. Come over this way. The old 1, 2, 3, maybe. No. There we go. Yeah, my biggest problem right now is getting this piece where I want it. What I might have to do is I might have to drag another anvil over and put it over there. I can do this on the induction forge. Oh man, there's a big ding right there I got to fix now. Way to go, dum-dum. And it didn't take the pucker out that I was hoping it would. I'm going to do that by hand. Anyways, so what I'm saying is, what I think I might have to end up doing is, once I get this end bent, this will be a little bit less here to work with. And then I can use the induction forge to get this area hot and do what I need to do. And then it'll allow me to put an anvil over here where I've got a little bit more room for a longer piece like this. So I think I'm close. This looks ugly right now, but it's got a lot of work that needs to be cleaned up on it. And I gotta twist the damn curly Q. Because this is gonna come around this way, so this needs to be the other way. Maybe I'll just do that right now while I'm thinking about it. A pair of tongs in here somewhere. Yes. Yes, I do. Do this without burning it off. That would be the ideal approach. What do you think? What do you think? Almost there. Ugh, what happened there? Oh, I see what happened there. I thought it burnt. It was just a big chunk of scale hanging off the end of it. Yeah. All right, so I got that in the correct orientation now. So I won't forget that, hopefully. Nothing to forget, really. But it's kind of chewed up. You see the pucker in it. So I got to take all that out, clean this hook end up, but I don't think it'll be that hard. I think the big thing is bending this at the right length, which I'm going to kind of try to mark out right now. Figure out what I did with my marking tool. I'm going to do with my marking tool. And that point is kind of ominous, sticking up like that. Might as well grab the measuring tool while I'm at it. So we want to go from here, from the hook end, I want 34. Hey, stop that. I want 34. Doesn't have to be precise, just in that ballpark. So, what was there? How much do I got on this end? So, yeah, that all chewed up. Oh, an inch and a half. Easy, almost 2.5 inches actually. 2.5 inches that I took on the end of that, which is fine. Like I said, this end is way longer than it really needs to be to function. You're probably never going to raise your swing out that damned high. I'm going to just kind of circle this around. I'm going to bend this probably using the induction forge, but I got to wait for this to cool down because I want this heat right in here. I don't want it anywhere else because I want a really sharp bend right there because it's sharp bend forge. But I want a really sharp bend right here, really focused heat right there. So when I bend this in and then I do the drawn corner, because the drawn corner doesn't have to look good. It should. It doesn't have to look good, but what you can't have on your drawn corner when you do these, and I don't know, this is not, I mean, other than the fact that it's ugly right now, and I'll clean it up, but other than the fact that it's ugly, dimensionally, it is correct. I'm going to try to get the best view of this. So there's no taper coming into the corner this way or this way. It's basically, I mean, a little bit on this side, but once I take the pucker out, I suspect that was going to go away. But what you don't want is a taper coming into your corner. You want your taper to go away from your corners. So try to keep them, because it's not that big of a deal in terms of like, for this particular application, it's not that big a deal in strength. But what would happen is if I have too much material sticking out back here and it drops into that coil, it's never going to sit right because it needs to be at a 90. The only way it would sit right is if you bent your bar down a little bit more, and now it's no longer 90. It's actually a little bit lower than that. You know, and it'll work. It's just not ideal. It's not right, you know? It's not right. It's not right, man. It's not right. So just do it right. But I got to set this down so it can cool off. So I'm going to find a place where there's no electric cords, like I just about tried to set it down on. I'll put it over there, and let's work on this coil, getting it off the bar. I don't think I need this fire right now. So let me pull some of this back. What was that? I don't know. I hit something, and it went ding-a-ding. Ring-a-ding-ding. So let me get this stuff out of the way. Where did I put the coil? Oh, is this it? Check it with my hands, back of my hands. Everything feels cool. So like I said, so it is on there, like it's nice and tight on there. That's what I want. I can't tell if it's moving yet or not. Yeah. Slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. But I want this on there nice and tight, so it would have been easier if it was still hot had I moved it around a little bit and then just wiggled it off. And I can still do that. I don't really want to if I can help it. And then, oh, my bar got twisted a little bit. That's not a big deal. Getting there, slowly but surely. This thing is filthy. Some joker put motor oil all over it. All right. That is now getting to a point where I can no longer use that. So what I'm going to do is set this up in the vise and see if I can knock it out. Gotta get to the pass through. Maybe. All right. There we go, almost there. Now I just gotta find something to whack it with. Whack it. My hands are covered in oil. I had a thought. Where's this guy? That's not a good tool to use for that. That might be though. That might be. That might be. Almost. A little too close to the same size. This guy might work though. And we're free. Except for my punch. My punch is not free. I ain't gonna work. And I got things, but they're all like pointy and stuff, and I don't want to hit it with a pointy thing. Oh, but that'll work. That's a round thing. That right there's a round thing. There's this. There's a hammer up here. All right. And I don't see any damage. So there's the coil. Want a big goober of beeswax on the end of it. This was punched with a square punch, and I'm probably going to drift it round. It was the smallest punch I had on hand, but this is the coil. It'll mount on a leg. This end will exceed the forge by a little bit, so it's going to go on my right leg here. So this will actually hang out and over a hair. The only thing I need to check, I didn't think about at the time, was my tong rack over here. And will that get in the way? I don't know. Oh, and this. This hook is in the way for show. Faux show. No, it will not be in the way. It's slippery. Get some joker put beeswax all over it. And motor oil. But no, that is going to mount fine. It is not in the way in the least. Awesome. And I'll take pictures of all that and stuff. But what I'll do is, when I'm ready to mount this, I'll clamp it up against the leg, nice and tight, put the coil through, or put the swing out through here. I have another bar over here.
BC 65,925. What do you quench your swords in?
The blood of 80-year-old virgins. They got to be 80. Some joker took the swing out material that's laying over here and turned it into a tone rack. Now I got all these tongs on here I got to get off. That joker being me, by the way. Oh! Like I said, he turned it into a tong rack. These do get used.
PC 65,925. I'm only 10 minutes away.
Yeah, those particular tongs do get used. They, we were reforging some stuff one day and it came in handy. I gotta touch this thing with my elbow, I think. Dude, my hands are so. You're 70 already? I thought you were more like, I don't know, 65. I'm walking around like an asshole holding this thing when I should be just relocating all this. I'm trying to do everything with one hand. Oh, Jesus. Who put all this crap in here?
65,925. Knocking on that door.
Oh! You would think I would know better by now than to do some of this stuff that I do, but I do not. So, this is probably not going to fit on here, would be my guess, which is fine. Well, I can already tell there's a burr on there, which is fine. Oh, look at that. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. I wasn't expecting that at all. I can feel a burr on the end of this thing too. So this is a good fit. That's what you want. You want a really good fit. Not too tight to where it binds up when it goes down or up, but you want it to be a good fit where there's not a lot of play in it, because what can happen is it will never bind on the thing. I'm gonna turn this audio off somehow, some way. Mic 1. I'm gonna go hit the grinder. I'll be right back. Did she say Greg Swallow? Oh, Greg Swanger. Okay. I heard Greg Swallow, which is a guy I work with. And I was like, huh? So I just went over and took that burr off. It was fitting on there fine anyways. And I'm doing good, Greg, so thank you. I'm going to... I will mount this thing somewhere. Not really sure where. Oh, I know what I can do. I'm trying to figure out like how I can mount this. I think I can do it on the anvil. I just got to go grab a clamp for that. I'm not putting a lot of weight on it, so one clamp should be enough. And it just so happens I know where one clamp is. That will work for this. Turn this fire down. So let me, all right. Fucking with me. Damn dirty clamp. I don't know what the best way to, maybe this way? Yeah, so you guys can actually see it. That won't work. It's gonna have to be this way, I think, in order for the bar to be able to pass through. Yeah, that looks like it'll clear.
Trail Bus 55. Hi, Rob.
Hey, Kevin. I don't need this like power clamp for what I'm doing. And I thought I had a smaller piece of that bar. But I do not know where it is right now. My luck, it wouldn't fit in the damn thing anyways. This bar does fit through there though. What I don't know is the clamp in the way. So I'm hitting resistance on this side, which I did not hit earlier. So I think, come on, give it back. Come on, give it back. It's not the side I ground. I didn't grind any of this material. I think it's the end of that that's catching. So anyways, that's currently hitting the clamp. So I could, I don't know if I will, but I could grab a piece of scrap steel and a cigar while I'm standing right there. Grab a piece of scrap and put it behind the clamp, you know, push it out a little bit. And I found a piece of 1 inch right here, which is probably way more than I need. But you know what? It's right there. It's right there. And it's about the right size. Let's see if I can actually pull this off. It's getting a little weird to hold on to. Good Lord. All right, there we go. Oh! It tricketed me. Why is it so finicky? That is not clamped very well. But
Deep vacuum maker. Oh hi Kevin. Trail Bus 55. Hi Daniel.
there we go. Maybe. All right. Yeah. Nope, that ain't gonna work. Anyways, so the idea, I can reverse it the other way. So it's coming all the way down to here, so it's hitting something here.
Trail Bus 55.
Little grit or
Sometimes
something.
using those clamps is like pushing a chain down the road.
Yeah. So it's binding on something right in there. Right there. And I can see it. There's something there. I don't know what that is. It's like a ding in the material. So what I'll do on this one is I'll mark these off. and then just hit it with a flap wheel. Take those high spots off the bar. Yeah, see, that's a pretty significant. And you could probably work that out just working this thing back and forth, but it's just hit it with a flap wheel. But it's sliding, right? I mean, it's right, well, it's good there. But if I cant this up, you see how it's catching it? That's how that works. I'm just doing it in reverse right now. But the minute I take that weight off of that, it's going to slip out. Same down here. It's probably a better, it's moving pretty freely in here. So
essentially, the swing out will stay in the coil like a hardy hold down. A little binding under load, but easy to move when free.
Yeah, it's just like a squirrel cooker if you've ever seen those. Very similar concept. But as soon as you take the weight off of it, it slides pretty freely. Minus the spots where it's hitting these high spots. So what I would normally do is I would run it up and down. See, there's a spot right there too. It's going to need to get hit. So I can probably get past it or not. So if I can't get past it, just flip it over. And then try to locate that spot, which looks like it's right in here.
Because my lovely bride lit a fire in the fire pit on the patio, I had to pour myself a second whiskey. Now I'm just a little off balance, so it's her fault.
Man, that hurt. That hurt, by the way. So there's a line here. I don't know if you guys can see that, even if I were to bring it over there. I'll try. But there's a line in there, and I've seen these on this kind of coil spring before, and I've marked it. If you see it, it's a little bright, thicker. I don't know. You can kind of see it. But anyways, I've noticed this coil spring that I got from Quadstate. It's got these, like, I don't know how you describe them, serrations in it, kind of spiral down the bar. And in some bars it's more prominent than others. And so I broke a slot punch a couple weeks ago, and it was made out of this stuff. And I believe the reason it broke was that there was that serration in there, because when I looked at the heat treat, the grain structure on that piece, I mean, it was beautiful. In fact, I might be able to show you. Let me put this down and find, here it is. I mean, get it wet maybe. Might show up a little bit better. I mean, in terms, you know what, actually, this camera might be better for this. You see that? You see that grain structure on there? I don't know. It was a really clean, very uniform grain structure. I thought my heat treat was bad, but, oh, where's the lens? I thought the heat treat was bad, but the more I looked at it, the more I thought, no. I think what it was is one of those, you can see it right here. See that right there? Oh, I keep going the wrong way. See that serration, that kind of, and it goes all the way. If you follow it down, this is the struck end, but if you follow this line, it comes, and it looks like it moved all the way over to this end. So I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So, well, this is weird to do. But anyways, I'm pretty sure this is where that serration was on this corner, and I think that's what did it. I think that's what did it. So it never occurred to me to consider grinding that out or taking it over to the lathe. Well, it was annealed. And this was quote unquote unused coil spring. This is the stuff they make the coil springs out of. I mean, it's coil spring, but it's before it was used. It was like, they get it cut or whatever over at Quadstate in big long. But I think what I should have probably have done is just chuck it up in the lathe and then clean that off and then forge it. I think that would have been the safe bet. And it's not very deep, so it wouldn't have taken much to clean that up. Like 1 or 2 passes would have cleaned that right up.
BC 65,925. Even after forging.
No, I agree. Like I said, that's why I was confused. And if you look, I'll have to show this to you, Bill, because I know it's not coming through on the camera very good. I should be a goddamn knife maker based off of this heat treat. I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I always anneal it. I always bring everything up to temperature, let it cool down, and I do that 3 times. That's not technically annealing, it's normalizing. But that has always worked for me. I really think you have to see these styrations to understand really it's weird to see them. And I didn't notice it until much later. And now that I've seen them, I really think cleaning these up on the lathe would have done me a lot better. I've got some others that I've made out of the same stuff, and I haven't had any problems with it. And my guess is where that cyration is. It's in a quote unquote good spot. But this was on a flat.
5,925. Okay, now I know who to send the people to at the fair. You can handle the sword kid for us.
I could handle the sword kid, but I don't know if y'all want me to handle the sword kid. I have a low tolerance for stupidity. Really low tolerance. But anyways, the coil spring that I'm using, it's all similar, but none of the stuff that I'm using for the swing out, it's the same stuff. It's just I just don't think this is going to see, well, 1, I didn't harden it, obviously, and 2, I don't think this is going to see the same kind of abuse. But I'm quite happy. One, I'm super stoked at how well that bar fits in here. Super stoked. I'm super stoked at how well the offset works for this. Like, I could mount this almost here and get almost the full length of that hook, still have plenty of mounting material, and it still sticks out plenty good. So that means my bending jig worked fine. Everything here was fine, which means I can now proceed to make more of these, because I need 5 of them in total. And then maybe when I get better at these, I can make them all pretty. I don't care about pretty right now. What I care about is function. And this doesn't look bad, I mean, but it's not my cleanest work. I don't need, again, you don't need that many coils. That's actually probably too many coils, but it'll work for what I'm trying to do. The problem here is it could start binding up before you want it to. So we'll see. And if it becomes an issue, like if I think it's going to become an issue and I don't have time, I will take a cutoff wheel of this thing and cut this down. I have no problems with that. And it'll still work. But I like the curly, the little hex ball on the end there. That is a hex ball. It's not a bad one too, I gotta say. I don't know how well y'all can see it, but it's there.
BC 65,925. Looks like a well, sure.
Hey, a well-shaped turd. I was thinking it kind of reminds me of the "Don't Tread on Me" thing. I want to paint it yellow and black, and then maybe punch "Don't Tread on Me" down the side here. What do you think? Anyways, I'm going to try to get this thing mounted on my other forge. Not this forge, my other one that I take to Quadstate. And then this one, I will try to make better. We'll see how that works out. I don't know what time it is. It is almost 10. Wow, Bill, you're awake. It's still 10. It's almost 10 o'clock, dude. Uh-oh, what'd I do? There we go. I've been trying to avoid putting my hands in my pockets because they're filthy, but I need my lighter. I meant to leave this out. There's some newfangled technology lighters here. So the flame is red. I don't know. Can you see that? It's red flame. Well, they put some kind of element in there or something. Probably trying to kill me.
EC 65,925. Alex Steel Forge Damascus. Swing raw. It 3x.
Interesting. I haven't watched that yet. I saw that this morning or this afternoon, and I just haven't gotten around to watching it. I get.
It's 9 here in Minnesota, and I'm close to nodding off.
I get really kind of annoyed. Like, I wish the dude would focus. Like, the closest to me, that the Damascus, whatever. But like the closest thing to forging he does anymore is working on a power hammer, and that's interesting to me because I have a power hammer. So it's not a steam hammer, but you know there are things in there that are, you know, transferable. So I thought that was cool. But and then he's like my guess is he's waiting on parts or something. So he has to fill time with something else. But then he runs off and makes a, you know, like Damascus out of welding rod or a bicycle or something stupid. And I'm like, I don't want to watch you fabricate a bicycle, dude. That's not what got me here. Get your ass in the forge and get to work. Get into the forge and get to work.
BC 65,925. He's trying to satisfy the Blake people. That.
Yeah, I get it.
BC 65,925. That's where the money i.e. BC 65,925 is.
Yeah, no, I get it. The best video he's done in the last 5 years, in my opinion, I think there were two. I think they were both live streams. One live stream, he was like by himself in his shop in Montana and started forging. I think he had just gotten the anvil within a couple of weeks, the Alex Steel anvil, and he was forging. I think he forged tongs or something, and he got all giddy about the fact that he could remember how to do it, and that he hot glued the anvil to the concrete, which we have since used. And people thought I was making that up.
Well, I have to go make supper. Have a great night, everyone.
Yeah, you have a good night too. But then he did another one where he made bottle openers, I think. And then the price kept going up on the bottles. So the more bottle openers he made, the higher the price kept going. And it was one, somebody paid a ridiculous amount of money for a bottle opener. But two, it was cool because, I mean, it was like hours, like 12 plus hours of just watching him forge. And you could see, I thought was the coolest thing about it, and I skipped through some of it, but you could watch like his progression, like how much better at it he got, after about hour, 2, and then 3, and then 4, you could just see that progression happening. And then of course he started getting tired, and then that kind of started to take a nosedive. But it was interesting to me to watch. I think that's a good example of why doing something over and over again can make you a better blacksmith. Not just at making that thing, but just in general. You get that muscle memory start building in, and then which he's already had. but you could see the rust falling off and him really starting to get back into the swing of things, which is always cool to watch, I think. That was a couple of years ago, I think, at this point. Those were pandemic videos, if I recall. Don't hold me to that. I don't.
65,925. Drizzle, drazzle, drazzle, drone. Time for this one to come home.
Yeah, I am hearing you. It's 10 o'clock, and I've been trying to shut this down right around now or 10:30, somewhere in there. So I think I'm going to be done as well. So I will catch you guys all later, and thanks for hanging out. And then hopefully the next time I do this stream, I'll be mounting the swing out. I'm not going to do the whole thing on stream anymore. I'm just going to do what I can when I can. So a good portion of this might get done tomorrow. We'll see. But I'll show it off once it's done.